Welcome back. It is 1532, and in the last one we did lose our patriarch, Gabriel, and we have moved on now to Gabriel II, who did become a teenager last year. So, lots of stuff going on. Let's get rolling so we can hop into the game. So, Arnold, Light. Oh, I messed up. But I was going to keep that open so I could keep looking at the numbers, but I forgot. Okay, no 8 or 16. He survived. Regina and Rosa Dubois can't get a 7, 14, or a 19. Both children survived. And then Emelina Light can't get a 2, 4, or a 6. That was a little close. And then for young adults, we have Merrick Gamal and Paulina Landgrab, who can't get a 3 or an 18. No 3 or 18, no 3 or 18. And then for the adult part 2s, we have Hector Landgrab and Tobias Larkin. Have to get at least an 8. Hector and Tobias. Oh, he survived good. Also, it looks like, okay, so Merrick, I believe, rolled to not get married. But Paulina has to get married. So, who should we marry Paulina to? Let's see what our options are. I'd very much like to marry them to townies, even though I know that we're starting to have a lot of Sims. But I would like to marry them off to townies. Plus, there's not really any guys available for her. I think Alexander Goth just became a teenager, so. Oh, he's already married, actually. We're using him right now. Hughie Gamal, he's the only one. I don't know, you guys. I don't know if that's what I want. To marry her to Hughie. Well, we might have to start adding some new Sims in. Maybe I should just marry her off to someone else. Except her only option is Alexander Goth. When is his birthday? Not for many years. Okay. Is anyone a widower right now? Oh, I did just make some widowers, actually. Which is awful to say, but... Ingleaf Gamal died. Maybe we can marry her to Emil Watson. How old is he? Here he is. He's about to be a regular adult. I don't know, you guys. I do not know. Perhaps I will just add in some new Sims. Just grab one of the Bachelor sets and just throw a Sim at her. Because I'm not really, we're not doing a story with her, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know. I'll take a look in the game. So, anyway, let's hop into the game.
Alrighty, so if my screen looks a little weird, it is just because I am away this week, but since I have a new computer that can withstand being away from my setup, I'm just playing on my laptop today. So if the screen width or anything is a little different or a little smaller or whatever, that is why. And if the sound is a little worse, I brought the same microphone with me, but who knows what the acoustics are and stuff. So anyway, what we have here is Gabriel talking to his sister, some of the kids all talking to each other. And I think that one of the things that Gabriel is trying to find out by talking to his sisters is to see if which one of them might be interested in marrying Lawrence Gainsford. So, I mean, he is second in line for a title, so maybe he'd get it, who knows. But meanwhile, we have Beatrice, and she is actually kind of a little cocky now with her newfound popularity. She really likes being the queen bee. She likes being in charge. And, I think one of you did mention, oh, is Alphonse going to be like his father and keep a mistress and stuff? And it's well, he definitely isn't going to be faithful to his wife. So Beatrice, once she kind of catches his eye, is like, oh, like I could aim even higher. And so she actually does, but Caesarea walks in on her smooching him, which she wasn't being very, secretive, even though nobody has noticed, seemingly. These Sims, they're so oblivious. But basically, she is flirting with King Alphonse, and Albert, Caesarea, like, kind of tells Albert, like, oh, hey, you should go into that room. Why is Emile in a towel? But anyway, Albert then is kind of lured into that room and finds them and is furious with Beatrice. Sorry. Oh, we have too many people with similar names. And he ends up breaking off his engagement with her. So they were going to get married, but she, obviously cannot be faithful. And so he is not willing to marry her. And, she rolled to not get married. So I needed to find a way to make sure that didn't happen. But also, I think that it'd be interesting because she likes being the popular girl now, and she is definitely going to, like, she's autonomously going back to Alphonse. So I think that she is definitely aiming to be his mistress, which is totally fine. She is going to end up moving into his household at the end of the year, and yes, becoming his official mistress outside of his marriage, just like his father had. Except she is not a commoner like Linda was. Anyway, so, but she is mad at Caesarea for kind of setting her up a little bit, and they argue some more. I mean, Caesarea does not have a friend in the world right now. She's not really friends with any of her siblings. She's not friends with any of the other Sims, and everybody kind of hates her because of her bad attitude. Like, even though we have Beatrice, doing things she's not supposed to, she still, like, kind of has people's support because it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility that people do stuff like that in this time. And who wouldn't want to be a mistress to the king, right? So also we have the King Henry here. I did give him some facial hair and I made him a little heavier to be more historically accurate. But what I have him here kind of, talking to Gabriel and basically being like, your father and I were good friends, and kind of, trying to sway Gabriel onto his side, much like Gabriel's father was also on his side. And, Gabriel is young. He's like maybe 14 years old. So he's pretty impressionable. And Henry kind of taking him under his wing and teaching him the things that Henry wants to implement, including, against the church and against this and against that. And so he's definitely trying to kind of not brainwash, but like indoctrinate Gabriel into his way of thinking to get more, titled nobles on his side and everything. And so that is something that he's focused on. And then, of course, we have Arthur continuing to work hard for the family, continuing to work hard on his on the family business and everything. I mean, he owns it now, so he is in good shape. I'm actually going to have you guys drop out of school because I need you to do stuff. So yeah, he is going to do that. And then we do again have Gabriel chatting with his sisters. So the options for Lawrence Gainsford, especially now that Beatrice is single again. So he has Beatrice, who technically hasn't really become the official mistress of the king yet. So she's still up for grabs. And then we have Caesarea, who nobody likes. And then we have Olivia, who is actually with Lucas right now, but she isn't like, she's pretty well liked. She's pretty mild mannered. No one really has a problem with her. I think someone literally just posted, like, so I have filmed a little bit ahead just because I've been traveling and I have to do stuff for work and all this stuff. But in the video that came out today, let me look at my thing here. Somebody said something. Oh, yeah. Storygirl83 said Olivia is suffering from middle child syndrome. So I think that that is really true, and I think that she's just kind of getting lost in the shuffle. But because of that, when Lawrence comes over to talk to the ladies, of course Beatrice is immediately like, I'm going to be the mistress to the king, I'm out, and is really like rude about it. But she kind of stays in the room to be respectful in a way. But Lawrence kind of sees that Caesarea is pretty interested. She, of course, is because she's having a hard time right now, like finding someone and all that stuff. And, her bad attitude is pretty widely known. So she wouldn't have that much luck. And then Olivia, though, even though she's not interested in him because she's in love with Lucas, he is definitely more interested in her because she has the best temperament and she doesn't have a bad reputation associated with her or anything, even though we know that she's doing scandalous stuff, but not everybody else does. So he is definitely more interested in Olivia. And so Gabriel's kind of talking to them, and Caesarea, of course, is mad that he's not like smitten with her and not just like choosing her right away and all this stuff, and that, maybe she's not getting a lot of attention still. And she's kind of hoping that maybe that would change things for her, especially if her. Oh my gosh, no. Lawrence is first in line. He's like the next in line for the title because his brother is dead. So his nephew is the one who has the title right now. And if his nephew doesn't live or have children, that's where we're at. So he's not exactly a bad person to marry. But anyway, so what we also have is Thomas coming over here to see Rebecca. So Thomas has come to see Rebecca, and they actually get caught, doing some scandalous activities by her father. So they get caught by her father, and he is furious. He's like, how could you? Because remember, Rebecca is engaged to someone who is going to give them a lot of money to marry her and, kind of save their family. And so Rebecca's not supposed to be fooling around with Thomas, but she is, and her family catches her, and it causes this big problem. Sorry, I think I have the hiccups. Causing this big problem between her family and also for Thomas and everything. And they kind of tell him, like, get out, don't ever look at her again. Like, they're very much banning them from seeing each other because they don't want her to lose this money that she's going to get through her engagement and everything. So they are arguing with each other, and Thomas is like, I love your daughter. I'm never going to give her up. Like, I'm not going to let you, ruin her life, blah, blah, blah. And this guy's like, the brother of a baron? No way. So Thomas ends up getting kicked out of their house and has to come home because what's he going to do? So he's going to come home and he's going to try and figure out some stuff later. But for right now, he's home. And then also, it's been storming so much that like we have so many different little stones and stuff out in the yard, and I want to pick them up. Although some of them like I cannot do anything to, which is really weird. Maybe if I like went into build mode, I would be able to, but some of them, like the elements that are on the ground, I can't. So I don't really know what's up with that, but whatever. And again, with Arthur and then the siblings kind of bothering him and stuff, he is definitely just going to take the business and walk away from this family and try to be with Apollonia. So he is trying really hard to get himself established, make sure everybody knows that he's a good businessman and everything, has a lot of money, which he doesn't have a lot of money, but he has enough money, and he'll, with his work ethic, he'll be able to amass quite a fortune over time. So I think that he's a pretty good catch. If only he wasn't an illegitimate child, right? Then things would be a lot different for him, but that is just the way it is. So I'm just going to have him continue to make some stuff before we bring him out. So he is going to do all that. Oh, he's sad. So let's have him head over to Apollonia's house. He wants to meet her brother. Now, in the last one, I did do some sim culling because I was trying to get my sims back under 80. And so I killed the Duke and Duchess. So Apollonia's brother is now the Duke, and her sister-in-law is now the Duchess. So he's going to come and talk to them and everything. And so basically, he is going to introduce himself officially, kind of get to know her family members a bit, try and get them to like him and everything. And so he kind of comes there and he tells them, I very much wish to, be with your sister. I love her very much. I, want to court her and marry her and all this stuff. And so her brother, basically, we've established that she does a lot of work for their family estate, for the dukedom. She spends a lot of time doing stuff for the family and all of that. And so her brother's not really willing to let that go yet. He doesn't want to have to do it himself. And, him and his wife just had some kids and he's really not focused on that. So he basically, snubs Arthur and tells him, like, I'm not going to let my sister marry an illegitimate child like you. You don't have a title. You don't have anything to offer her. And Arthur's like, I do have stuff to offer her. I have a mine, a jewelry mine, a business that makes a lot of money. Like, I promise that I can make her happy. And her brother is just like, no. I think his name is Giovanni. But anyway, he proposed to her anyway and basically said, I don't care about, whether or not your brother approves. If you want to be together, we can be together. And he kind of gets Lucrezia on his side. I forget how to pronounce her name. By talking to her a little bit as well, just kind of having that conversation with her where he's like, look, I love her and I promise that, you won't regret it and all this stuff. And so, Lucrezia has a bit of a soft spot there for us. So he does propose to her and she does say yes. Meanwhile, things are going very fast in this video. Meanwhile, we have the vampires. So the vampires are having another vampire meeting because we know that they've been plotting. And so they basically try and bring Thomas and Odelgard into this, and they're like, okay, like, we're planning on acting against the king. We're planning on doing something about it, and we want you on our side. Like, are you going to join us? And Thomas is just kind of like, no. Thomas does not get involved in stuff. Like, he is not interested in doing anything but living his life happily and quietly with Odelgard. He is not really interested in all of this drama and wars and stuff. And, like, he's been there. He's done that. He's not interested in starting something. And I think that Vlad's daughter there, whose name I forget, she is definitely, like, the one who is pushing the hardest. She really wants this war. She really wants to show her father that, she took back the land for him and all of that stuff. So she is definitely the one pushing, and Thomas is just, like, not interested. Thomas is not the kind of person who would want to be a part of all of that, and so they do fail to recruit him ultimately. They tried, but they failed. But Eleanor is actually really excited about it because she does want to be a part of it, and she wants to, go to war. She's been training to be a knight. She wants to go to war. So anyway, so we needed to figure out who we were going to actually marry Albert to, and I decided that Beatrice is the right answer. Now, he was initially interested in her, but when she left society, that kind of fizzled out, and it's not like he didn't like her anymore. It's just that she left. Like, she left and he couldn't really court her anymore, so he kind of had to move on. But now that she has been, accepted by the other ladies and everyone has been really nice to her, except for Caesarea, but everyone has been really great to her and she feels a lot more confident and comfortable. And Albert never cared about that kind of stuff. He just wants a lady of good, like, substance. He wants someone who is kind, who is faithful, who, is not an issue. And so because of that, he is going to end up marrying Beatrice, which I love. And so I really think that she deserves a happy ending there. And they're only going to have one baby, and I do get her pregnant, and it is going to be a boy. So maybe the Landgrab family will still live on. In the meantime, we are going to marry Paulina to Emil. I think I mentioned him earlier, Emil Watson. He is a widower, and he's a baronet. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine. But we do need a new color. So we're going to give them the color gray. If I could ever figure out, like, what outfit is kind of gray for this CC. But anyway, we have those two. We also got her pregnant. I think she has like 6 baby tries. So we have a lot of babies percolating right now. And then for birthdays, we have Arnold Light, who became an infant, Regina and Rosa Dubois, who became toddlers, Emelina Light, who became a child, Merrick Gamal became a young adult. We saw Paulina Landgrab become a young adult. Laudine and Lucan Trimboli also became toddlers. So that is all the birthdays. We had 2 weddings. I'm also going to move Beatrice in with the king. She is now his official mistress. She's left the house, and she did not bring a dowry or anything with her because she left the house to be a mistress. So she doesn't need one. It's fine. So yeah. That is where we're going to wrap up for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this part. I'm having a lot of fun, but there's like a lot of different things I'm trying to get done each year for each sim, and it's a lot. So, but we're starting to whittle them down. We just said goodbye to Beatrice, so the rest will continue to follow until we are just left with Gabriel and his future family. But we do have some younger siblings who are also going to become teenagers soon too. So there is that. But anyway, like I said, hope you guys liked it, and I'll catch you in the next one.